Alright, working on a little Maytag here again, and last time we left off, I was gonna assemble the engine, and then I forgot that this governor slide here was bent, and it has to go in this hole here, and it has to slide up and down perfectly without any stoppage. So I cleaned that out inside there. That wasn't bad. And I straightened this, and I think I got it pretty good. I couldn't do much with the spring. I tried straightening it out, but once you put the top on, the top will hold it in place, and I think it'll function okay. But I got it so it'll drop right in there, and the only thing holding it up now is the spring on the side there, but it comes right out. So that's what you want. You want it to slide effortlessly. And like I said, the only thing that was holding up was holding on threads. Alright, so what I'm going to do now is, this here is a little gunked up. This here is burnt oil and I guess gas and oil and stuff. I cleaned this one off already. So, well, you know what? Might as well show you. Put some lacquer thinner in there. I always keep lacquer thinner around the shop. It's good for a lot of stuff. Get some gloves on because this is nasty stuff. Nasty stuff, I tell you. Let's see how easy it comes off. Yeah, once you clean this up, then we start putting it together. And should have it run in no time. And like I say, I mean, it don't come right off. You gotta let it soak in a little bit. You know, these areas are easy. You know, you can put these on a wire wheel and it'll clean them right up. But I want to clean the insides here too. Like I said, I get that with the wire wheel, but inside and stuff on the outside here. I'm going to get with a wire brush. See, it takes off pretty easy. So, let me work on this and then I'll turn these back on. Oh, look at that. Looks like chewing tobacco, huh? And then you could actually polish it up with a Scotch-Brite, and it'll come up pretty good. So let me clean that up, and then we'll put the governor in and put the crank in and be on our way. Alright, yeah, that cleaned up pretty good. I'm happy with that. I tried to get in them little journals in here as good as I could, but you know, I couldn't do much with that. It blew them out real good though. This really looks like chewing tobacco now, huh? You guys got time for a story? I got a little story about chewing tobacco there. You know, when I was 22, I was an instructor at one of these occupational training places, you know, for body work. And we had a guy there. I had about 22 kids there. 23, yeah, about 23. And one of them chewed tobacco, and he'd be spitting this stuff all over the floor. Everywhere you look, you'd be stepping in it, and you know, if you get down on your hands and knees and everything, you put your hands in it and all that. So I had to tell a guy. I said, you know, you gotta stop spitting that shit you gotta stop spitting that stuff in the building here. So then we said, why don't you go spit in the toilet or something? He goes, okay. He's a nice guy. So he started spitting in the toilet, but he could never make it into the bowl. Christ, it was all over the seat and the floor and everything else. So I finally told him, I said, you're gonna have to do something else and everything. So he wound up, he started carrying a coffee cup with him, and he would spit in a coffee cup. And then everything was okay and everything, but ever since then, I don't think I've had a cup of coffee, you know, because every time somebody offers me coffee, that's all I can think about. So that's that. That's a true story. So enough with story time. What do you say we start putting this thing together, huh? All right. We assembled the governor here, and it seems like it's going to work. It'll fit in there nice. Go right down the hole and just tighten that up there. You know what? I noticed something. Let me take you off the tripod there. It's funny how they companies do stuff, but they never do anything for no reason. And I can't figure out why they did this. Hold on, guy. Whoa. Hold on. Let me check this out. I put the white paper down. Look at there's a slit there between the threads. It goes 3/4 of the way. There you go. Goes 3/4 of the way through that screw. You know, there is a hole in this thing. And then you got that slit. Both of them have it. You know what I mean? Both of these are the same. Somebody, anybody knows why they did that? Let me know. I'm curious. Alright, I'm going to put you back up on the tripod. Alright, let's put this in here and screw it in. I'm not putting any wheel in there because it'll get lubricated from the fuel. Oh, that ain't good. There we go, I think I got it. Any of the Maytags I ever seen were always flush, and then you can adjust them after you have the engine running. Okay, that's pretty good. And I guess this one here is just to keep that, if you have trouble, keep it from losing it. If you break a spring, I guess. Alright, that's pretty good. Alright, we got the governor in. Now where are we going to go? I guess we'll put the crank in. Alright, it's the next day. So let's put the crank in. You know, I was talking to Mike the other night. Last night, I mean. It was on... and I asked him about that slit in this little bowl here and everything. And he says that's how you like if the screw is loose, you squeeze that, squeeze it and close that little gap, and that'll tighten it up. And it makes sense because you can't put a lock nut on, a lock washer on there. So they just use that so you can put that in there and it'll tighten to a certain degree. Pretty clever. Okay. So I got actually three. These two are the same. I got three different thickness of gaskets here. So I'm not going to lube it up yet. I'm just going to put it in here and we'll see how many, which gasket we're going to need. That's what determines your end play. Okay, closed all the way up. It don't spin. And just a little bit. It's still tight, which would probably be that yellow one. That's like paper thin. So just give it a little more, and it has enough play. So I think we're going to go with this this reddish one here. That seems to be about the right thickness. That'll give us okay. All right. Okay, this is one of them real tight gaskets. I'm going to have to finesse this on, so it may take a minute or two. Alright, we'll turn it back on once I have that on there. Alright, yeah, it wasn't too bad. You don't want to get crazy, you know, because it's not tough to cut one of them gaskets. Alright, so what we're going to do is let's lube these bearings up. Try to keep you guys in view. Alright, let me lube this one while I got it, while I'm thinking about it. Just put a little on here too. Don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Plenty on there. As they say, let's stick it in. Okay. Put a little lube on this side here. Alright, we already lubed the inside of that. Everything's slick now, it's tough to... There we go. I was holding this side, wasn't letting it thread in. Everything's too tight, everything's too slippery to turn. There we go. There we go. Check the end play here. Okay. Yeah, it has a little end play, but you need some. Okay. Yeah. Feels a little stiff, but it's not binding up. You know, it's just since you didn't line bore these bearings, you know, the bearings might be a millionth off or so. But we're happy with that. I'm going to crank on it, but not too much. There we go. And we still got movement, so that's good. Alright, let me find the connecting rods and we'll put them in there. Alright, let's put these connecting rods in. If I remember, I marked this. I marked one of them. Oh, I took it apart. Oh, there we go. Got a little punch mark right there. Alright, so that one goes on this side, I believe. Alright, there's no way I could put these in without getting in your way. So, bear with me. And they're a little bit of a pain in the balls, too. Alright, I'm going to, if I recall, this didn't have all the washers, but I'm going to put new lock washers on here. Alright, and plenty of oil. The oil might actually help this stick on there while I'm trying to put the screws in. I know you can't see it, but I'm going to oil the crank up right here. See that? Like I said, it might help hold this on. Right. These connecting rods have little marks on the top. There's a mark there and a mark here. You want them towards the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick this in towards the bottom over here. That way when it comes around your side there, it'll be on the top. I tell you, these are going to be slippery too. Alright, there we go, we got it on. Alright, now I'm going to try and get it around your side there without it falling off. If it falls off, don't get excited, it'll be okay. Okay, alright, that worked out well. Alright, now you want this witness mark up top like that. Alright. Oh, it's okay, it's just connected on, it fell out. I should have prepared one of these screws here. I got one of these screwdrivers that holds it on. And I'm gently going to turn it sideways here and line up one of them holes. Try and get a screw in there. Alright. Got it, got it. Now we just got to get the other screw. Okay, I don't know if you can see it, but there's actually, they notched out right here, just so you can get to the screw. Alright, now I can crank down on it. I want these tight. In fact, I'm going to use a bigger screwdriver. Okay. Okay, my screwdriver just slipped off. I didn't snap anything. I do want to check that for tightness, so. Okay. Alright, and it's, we checked these before we took them off and they're nice and tight, so that's what you want. Alright, let me put this other one on here. You guys don't have to see that, right? You just see me put one in. Alright, I'll turn you back on when we go somewhere else. Alright, we got both rods on here, and they're functioning as they should. So we say we take these pistons. I never even took the rings off of here. This is the one that had the broken ring, and actually the rest of these rings look good. These pistons are clean. There's no carbon. Like whoever put these in never ran this engine after they put that in. So I'm going to save these rings. They're very delicate, but if you're careful, you know, you can take them out. You know, because they're made out of casting. So if you want to break them, you can. They will break. This one here is going to be tough because, well, I can actually break it taking it off because it's already broken. But there we go. Alright, so here are the new rings here. And they look pretty good. Alright, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to take these other rings off here, and then we'll clean this up and then put the new rings on. Alright, I put the rings on this one piston here. They went on pretty easy. But on these Maytags, you got two rings and they go on top, and then you got one thicker ring and that goes on the bottom. So let's put that one on. If you're careful putting these on, you're okay. You know, so you don't need ring squeezers or ring tools and stuff like that. Some guys put pieces of wire and stuff and slide it down. If you're careful, you know, you just put it on with your fingers. You know, they are made out of cast, so they are brittle. But like I say, if you're careful, they go right on. There we go. Alright. Now I marked these cylinders. Here we go, I got it upside down, I got the mark right here. So this cylinder Tough to see marks once you paint them. Bear with me a minute. Oh, here you go. This cylinder goes on this side, and this cylinder goes on the other. And even the pistons, I'll mark the pistons, I don't know if you can see that. Put a little dot in there. Okay, let me get set up. Let me get this stuff out of the way and give me some oil and some rags here. I'll be back. Alright, let's put one of these pistons in. Like I said, I marked this one, so this goes on this side. There we go. I guess because it's dry, that's why it's so, there we go. I guess that's why it was so tough to get in and out. Alright. Let's bring this rod out as far as it'll go. There we go. Get our oil. Move everything up real good. Especially our rings. Alright, there is a top and a bottom to this. This cutaway goes towards the top. Grab a rag here. There we go. I'm going to have to turn this to you so I can see. Can you move this up a little bit? And it just slides in there. And then you have these Welsh plugs, aluminum Welsh plugs, and they just ride up against the cylinder wall. There's really no pressure on it, you know, especially if the engine's running flat like this, you know. And you put these, they're just sitting there. Some guys peen them in there, you know, so they don't come out. But the way Maytag had them, they're just sitting here. So that's what we're going to do. Just going to sit them in there. Alright, when you put these rings on, you got to make sure that they're in the right position. Because on a two-stroke, you have the inlet ports, which is up here, but inside there, you probably can't see them, but there's 3 slits in there. You don't want the rings to hit them, so you got to make sure the rings are lined up with the sidewalls. And then down here on the bottom, you have the exhaust port. So I'm going to put the bottom one at the right angle, and then I'm going to turn this one. That's going to be over there, and then the top, the very top one, I'm going to put over here. You don't want to line the slits up with each other either. Yay. Talk about slippery. That's still where I want it. Alright. Unlike a Briggs you can get to the rings and it's pretty easy, but these are a little tougher to get to, so I made a little ring compressor here. It's just a piece of metal. I think it's a tuna can, or actually this one looks like a piece of siding, but that's all you need. The only reason you could actually just use the hose clamp, but it's not flat on the bottom. You know, it has like a little hump there, and that's why I do it that way. It's a lot easier this way. But like I say, you don't have to. You could sit here and play with it and try to get it in, but this just makes it so much easier. You want it tight, but you don't want it so tight that you can't move it. You see the way that's moving pretty good? I'll tighten it a little more. Okay. That's pretty good. And then we just stick this on and push that out of the way. And that should be going far enough that them rings are in place. Yeah. And if you got a screw gun hooked up, it makes this much easier. It just come right off. But we didn't have a screw gun handy. But we don't use them. We don't use screw guns that much. A little more, a little more. I guess I could use a smaller clamp, huh? Alright, you know what? How many of you guys caught that? Forgot to put the gasket on. No worries. That was just a practice run. Alright, let me hook all the stuff back up and I'll turn you back on. I'm glad somebody said something. Alright, take two. Alright, here's your gasket. This is a pretty good gasket, so I'm not going to use any gasket sealer or anything like that. You gotta make sure this goes on right too, because you got the notch up top and this little access panel on the side here for the screw. So we're going to put that there and keep it out of the way. Yeah, if you're using cheaper cardboard gaskets and stuff like that, I would suggest using some kind of sealer on that gasket, but I don't think I have to. All right, our rings are still in the same spot. Okay. Whoever yelled there, I appreciate that. Let me know I made a mistake. I like to try to make this equal all around. That way it works better. You guys didn't see that, but I just got my finger stuck in the clamp there. Okay, alright, let's try this again. Okay, oh, you know what? I hooked the screw gun up for you guys there, since I made a mistake. Makes it a little faster getting off. Alright, that's better. And now I just stick it in there. Stick it in. Alright. Alright, I'm using new bolts. You know, some guys frown on that, but I would have done it anyway, even if the other ones weren't bad, because I kind of like the looks of it. It makes it look fresh, it makes it look new, it makes it look like it just came out of the factory. But some guys don't like it. You know, they say it's an antique engine, you shouldn't use that. Even washers, new washers. Originally, these things had aluminum washers, I think, lock washers. Try to find a hole here. Alright, it's going to take a couple minutes because I'm going to have to get all this oil off my hand so I can tighten that. Alright, sit tight, I'll be right back with you. Alright, I got that all bolted up. I didn't crank up on it yet. We got to put the muffler on before we do that. But I'm going to put this other side on, and then we'll turn it over, put the muffler on, and tighten everything up. Alright, I put both heads on and everything, and they're not tight. And the reason they're not tight is because when you put the exhaust on there, you want it to sit flush, and you got play in both of these heads. So you want to put this on first before you tighten them up. And there is a right and a wrong way of putting this on. That's the wrong way, and that's the right way. You know how I know? Because I got a Maytag on the floor over there about 5 foot away I'm looking at. Now you always remember, because this here is where the mix tube goes in, and the exhaust points the opposite direction. So, alright, we're putting this together with cap screws, Allen head cap screws. You know, some guys ain't gonna like that, but that's all I have. Because this only, when I got it, only had 2 Philister screws, and this one's stripped, and this one's about to strip. So, there we go. Sorry, I didn't think I thought I was in frame there. Alright, so let's put this on. If you recall, this was the head here that we fixed. We epoxied up, and even here we're not going to tighten this all the way. We're just going to tighten it enough so everything is flush. Alright, I know this video is getting long, so I'm going to shut you down. I'm going to screw this in so it's snug, and then we'll tighten the heads up. Alright, we have these in, and these are tight, you know, but not cranked up on. These are actually 1/4 inch bolts in a 5/16 hole, so the heads will be able to move. So now that we got that and it's holding it, everything is square and level, now we can crank up one of these heads. Oh yeah, before I forget, I know some of you guys are going to say I forgot to oil the cylinders, but I didn't. I just didn't film it. Plenty of oil in these cylinders. Plus, before you usually start these, you squirt oil in both sides, and you know, you're alright. So, alright, I'm going to tighten these bolts up, and then tighten these up, and then this will be all ready to go. So, there we go. We've got our crank in, our heads on, our pistons in, our connecting rods, everything. So next time we'll just have to put it on its base and put the flywheel on, the clutch and kickstarter, and we'll be ready to go. So alright, what do you say? Enough of this? Alright, see you in the next one.